running? I think we are. Oh. Let's get the radio shut down here. Fan's good. Let's turn some power conditioning on. It's not warm, but 73 according to the car. It's a little filtered sunshine out there, a little orangish light from some little bit of smoke in the air up at the high altitudes from California. Oh, the car nosed into the driveway because I swapped out those brand new headlight bulbs I put in yesterday before work because they were just garbage. In fact, that's where they wound up, in the garbage. R for race. Watch for speeders coming down behind me. Dump trucks up in the park again. Don't know when they're supposed to start putting the grass down. They're supposed to hydroseed. Oh, holy cannoli. We got things to discuss. So today is week 2 since I've seen my little buddy. Miss that little cat. But, yeah, she ain't, I don't think she's coming back. Still hope every once in a while, but kinda sucks, but that's what you get for having pets and people in your lives, and you name it. Nothing lasts forever. But let's see. Tuesday, took the car in for an oil change. Talked about this in my headlight video yesterday. Decent bill of health, except I got a little oil leak. And he says the oil change technician, they don't allow them to diagnose oil leaks and things like that because since they've been burned in the past by misdiagnosing. I guess I can understand that. He says there's 2 common oil leak spots on these 1.4 liter turbos. One is the oil pan gasket, and the other is the oil line off the turbo to the oil cooler. He says that job is about $900. Got to do a lot of disassembly to get in there. Well, yesterday, after it was done with the headlights, I kind of rooted around a little bit, and there's some oil underneath the motor. But I don't see anything coming off any lines going into the turbo for oil coolers. I mean, I see lines going for the cooler, but they're all dry. And I didn't really look hard at the oil pan, but what I did notice was the valve cover gasket was a little wet. So I might be doing a valve cover gasket on this car. Wiped it down. I haven't checked it today, and it's not leaking enough to where my oil level keeps dropping. It's just kind of seepage. So I check the oil every few weeks, once a month, something like that. Probably not as often as it should, although I may have to tell myself to up that interval a little bit. Just to keep an eye on things. But hopefully it's just the valve cover. A few bolts, pop it off, clean it up, new gasket, torque it all down. It's just, I think it's just a plastic cover. Hopefully it's not warped or something stupid because it is plastic. We'll see. But other than that, they did say I needed new tires. I looked at them again when I got home and said, I don't think they're as low as they're claiming they are. They're just trying to sell me new rubber again. gonna push it through this winter. I think they'll be fine. This winter, this summer, probably next fall, I'll plan on putting new tires on this thing. I'll be up over 60,000 miles. That's probably good enough. Tires will be about 7 years old then, so. Alrighty, what do we got for merging? Looks good. So the big news, Boeing is shutting down my production line in Everett. They're going to consolidate everything in South Carolina. Wall Street Journal posted an article 2 days ago announcing that. Boeing came out and says, yeah, no, we haven't decided yet, which basically means that they've already figured it out. The union got a hold of the company and says, hey, what are you guys doing? This is what the news articles are saying. It says, yeah, no, we haven't figured it out. And then the next day they say, yeah, we're moving everything to South Carolina. So it's supposed to be finished by summer of next year, or during summer of next year. So basically 9-10 months from now. I don't know where I will be. Still be at Boeing, but no idea what I'll be doing in a year from now. Should probably start looking into turning on my green lights and do some training and see if I can control my own destiny a little bit. However, there's not a lot of movement within the company right now because of the slowdowns and the shutdowns. There's going to be a lot of other people trying to do the same thing. And I may stay in the building I'm at and just, they may leave me there, and because that's an awful lot of real estate just to leave it wide open. We've got a whole bunch of airplanes that are going to need work for delivery and whatnot. So I don't know. Kind of like with Kitty, just the not knowing is going to be the hard part. Of course, it will bother me a little bit because there's going to be more layoffs. You can't shut a production line down and consolidate them into the rest of the workforce without disrupting somebody. So we've got roughly, I think it's around 500 mechanics and electricians. They're going to have to be absorbed into 6-7 and 777 production, plus the engineers and the support staff, and so there's probably close to 1,000 people, which means there'll be another round of layoffs. Those of us with seniority will displace those that have less seniority. Out of the, I want to say it's about 4,000 people in my job code. Last time I looked, I was right around number 400. Actually, I may have been around 250. I don't remember now. I'll have to look again. I'll have to ask. I think I was right around number 250 out of 4,000. going from a composite aircraft to a metal aircraft, I'm going to basically have to be trained from scratch. I don't buck rivets. I have no certifications actually in my current job. They've all been dropped. So I'm going to have to be retrained anyway. Company policy is if you don't use a certification for at least a year, you're supposed to drop it. I haven't even turned a wrench on an airplane in 4.5 years now. Just going to keep plugging away and see what happens. I'm not old enough to retire or take a voluntary layoff. I have nothing lined up outside of Boeing. I'll just keep running it until I'm fired, laid off, or whatever. If that happens, I'll take my little retraining benefits and I'll go get my CDL again and I'll just become a trucker. But I don't think that'll happen. I'm going to step out on a limb and say that morale is probably going to be really low today on the 787 program. Wouldn't be surprised if we've got a lot of folks that don't come into work today and tomorrow. We do have a line move tonight, so that'll at least keep things busy. Oh, that's a clean looking Ford truck there, isn't it? Got that thing looking sharp. Traffic. Watch the Bozos behind me. It's slowing down, so. Doesn't back up this bad at this time of day, but hopefully there's not a wreck up here. Yeah, so I wonder if it's too early to start a van pool from Everett, Washington to Boeing in South Carolina. That's one thing about being a union member. They can't just transfer me like that out of state. I don't think I'd go there anyway. It's just not home. I've lived and grown up in the western U.S. Not that I wouldn't like to go visit the East Coast sometime, but got silver pickup, gray SUV on my left here. It's not moving over, so yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where we're at a year from now. As I mentioned, they can't just transfer me out of state, but boy, they could sure move me to Renton. Then I'd have a 40-minute commute instead of a 15-minute, 20-minute commute. foresee that happening. They've got a lot of folks from Renton working up here right now. I think that they would do the geographical moves first and get those people back closer to home. But you never know. At the end of the day, I'm just a number. Although on the plus side, wherever I do get moved, I'll probably run into some folks that I haven't seen for a few years. But we've still got to do something with that new model aircraft, the supposed 797. They started that last year. Had to put the kibosh on it because of the money crunch, but they're going to need to get on the ball. Of course, if airlines don't want an airplane like that anymore, it may put a damper on that project for longer than I'm anticipating, but I'm thinking once things start picking up, airlines are going to want different aircraft again. Here in 2 years' time, we're going to have 2 completely empty bays. Parking lot doesn't look too empty today. Yeah, I swapped out those old headlights. I double checked the wiring and made sure they were really well seated, so hopefully those last. I did order a new set of bulbs from Oxbeam, same company that these current bulbs are, and I went with a little bit brighter. These I think are 6,500 lumen. I went with an 8,000 lumen. Yeah, it does look just a hair emptier than normal here tonight. So, but they take a couple of weeks to get them. I remember when I ordered these bulbs, they were a few weeks out, so I got them on order. That way, in case these turn out to still be having issues, hopefully I can nurse them till the new ones show up. But that's gonna do it for this video. Thanks for tagging along. Thanks for riding with me. Thanks for keeping me company. And hopefully we can keep driving to this facility. Of course, if I get moved down to Renton, that means your Thursday drive to work videos are going to get twice as long. So, alrighty, I got to go inside, get clocked in. Catch y'all later. Bye-bye.